Hi, my name is Ethan Thompson, and this is my project number 2 for Computer Science 302. Before we get into the exact topic of what this project is about, I'd like to see what you think. The game is spy movie plot or not. So the proposed plot is proprietary information regarding next generation fighter planes is stolen from an American military industrial company by hackers abroad. Give you a second to think about it. The answer is it's real, and it happened more than once. Of course, if it wasn't real, then we wouldn't be talking about it. But yeah, it's happened several times. Um, Both in 2007 and 2017, Chinese hackers have gone after the F-35 fighter jet program, which at the time was a next generation fighter jet. I'm not sure if it is still in development or not, but either way, the Chinese have stolen proprietary intellectual property from defense contractors in America. Sorry. Why are we talking about this? We're talking about this because this is an instance of theft sanctioned by one government targeting another country for defense-related intellectual property. Um, this is a big deal because this was theft of a big-ticket item. Um, who knows what else they could have stolen? Um, they could have stolen other data, such as personally identifiable information or PII. That could be workers' social security numbers, addresses, um, and that could contribute to further attacks. Um, they could have stolen algorithms used by these companies in their fighter jets, um, either from before or for their F-35 program. They could have stolen metadata, that is data about their data, and they could have stolen test data, among a slew of other things. Um, and we're talking about this because we really need what this situation ends up coming to is what kind of example does this set in the international community? So the results of this incident resulted in arrest and conviction of individuals, but not organizations. Um, it's kind of hard for one country to find another country's organizations accountable, um, and hold them accountable. Uh, but as those individuals are in prison or have paid hefty sums to avoid imprisonment, they're not the ones who are benefiting from the theft of American defense intellectual property. Who is benefiting, though, is China's institutions. These are institutions such as the Army, any of their departments related to defense, research sectors, and even private sectors of the Chinese economy, because the private sector is very heavily linked to um, the Communist Party's um, government. So really, those who benefited the most uh, didn't lose anything. They gained the Chinese Communist Party and their departments and institutions. Uh, they gained valuable technological and strategic information from the United States, and the United States lost that strategic information as well as a potential upper hand on adversaries. It also lost value on money that the United States government and private companies in America, that money that they've invested in these kinds of programs, that have been breached by cyber attacks. The money that they spent in order to get a sorry, in order to gain an upper hand, have the country gain an upper hand is now lessened. The value of their money is lessened. So the implication of this kind of attack is, other nations could look at this example and say, if we can just steal the best technology there is, why would I ever spend any time or money developing it myself? I can just hire hackers to take it for me. Um, so the implication there is that instead of innovating, it would be better to steal if this was acceptable in the international community. So from a utilitarian ethical perspective, um, you need to evaluate benefit versus harm and weigh the two to see whether or not there is gain, net gain or net harm, whether or not the harm outweighs the benefit. So, of course, there are gains to the Chinese, harm to the Americans, and the biggest thing that is entirely nonpartisan for this issue is the international implication of stealing intellectual property instead of innovating. That is the biggest source of harm um, in this question, because the precedent that kind of behavior sets is it has the power to continue and replicate this kind of behavior, which would ultimately just drive international innovation down, um, which violates one of the five essential tenets to um, general ethics. That's probably not the correct term, but one of the tenets that I'm thinking of is making things better, and driving down international innovation is going to actively not make things better. It's going to stagnate our growth as a species. From a second ethical perspective, um, from a Kantian approach, if it's okay once, it's always okay. So, uh, stealing intellectual property, if it's okay now, then it should be okay all the time. I think we know that's not true. Um, Stealing in general, if it's okay now with this, then we should be able to steal anything from them, or vice versa. They should steal anything they want from us, and we should steal anything we want from them. Stealing defense technology, same goes. If it's okay right now, then it should always be okay. Um, and stealing. So the biggest thing is the combination of these three. There's theft of intellectual property that is defense technology during peacetime between two non-warring countries. That's not okay now, and it never would be okay. It wouldn't be okay if America stole intellectual property, intellectual defense technology uh, related property from China, as well as vice versa right now. So we can conclude that through the analysis of these different perspectives, we can see that the this specific instance, um, or these two instances, of which there are several others, um, but in these two instances, we can see that stealing this data was not ethical. We can state that it would never be ethical to do this, and such a precedent is especially harmful for the international community as a whole. Because once again, if it's easier to steal from everyone else, then why would we innovate anything ourselves? And here are my works cited. Thank you very much.